Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics. Yes, we have a really cool unboxing for you today, something I don't normally do on the channel. But before we get into it, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. We go back in time about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I brought one of our bucket list fish into the fish room. It's these guys. Absolutely awesome fish. These are the albino hecali. We got 12 of them. Put them in this 75-gallon to quarantine, and sure enough, they brought in a little bit of ick and something else. Now that was a problem, but we treated it successfully. No issues in that tank. The problem was, however, whatever was in that tank, we accidentally, or through negligence, spread it to the 55-gallon that houses the Geophagos tapajos. Now, for those of you who know our fish room, these were wonderful fish. Some of my favorite fish in the fish room, and we lost them all, along with about half the bristlenose plecos that were in that tank in a very short period of time. So after that, we had to figure out what we were going to do with this tank. I left it up to the channel members to decide what we do with the tank, and the overwhelming majority of our channel members said, let's make this a community tank, and so that's what we're going to do today. This is what Joanna has done with the tank now. Just a real quick aquascape. I think she did a great job. She's not done. There's actually some plants that she wants to add that are in the box with the fish. And so we'll be updating this tank and updating you as we move forward. So what we're going to do here is, yes, we are going to unbox these fish, and there are some plants in here that Joanna's going to add to the tank later on. But what I think is going to be cool is we often think about nano fish going in smaller nano tanks, and that doesn't always have to be the case. And so in this 55-gallon, what we're going to be doing is highlighting some fish that are nano in nature. In other words, they're smaller fish, but in a larger tank. And so essentially what you're getting is a nano tank or a nano setup in a larger tank. All right, so we got the box open. One of the questions we get asked a lot is, how do we quarantine our fish? How do we acclimate our fish? We've done videos on both. I will put those in the upper right-hand corner as well as in the description below. And so we've got a lot going on here. We've got, Joanna wanted to add a lot more plants. And so here we've got some moneywort. Very cool. So we are often asked, hey, where can you get nice plants? Look at the size of these plants. These are from flipaquatics.com. I will put their information in the description below. Big thank you to Flip Aquatics for supplying us with all this cool stuff that we're going to be able to add to this 55-gallon. This is, I believe, hygrophila. Let's see. Yep. And so that's this one. Let's see, what else do we have here? And we got a bunch of fish in here. This one is a micro sword. So we got that. I don't have a lot of room to put all this stuff aside. And we have, this is really cool. This is a narrow leaf chain sword. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this thing does in our fish tanks. I got these. I wanted these for our shrimp. These are the shrimp lollies. If you have shrimp, these can be a lot of fun to watch them crawl up on these sticks here and eat the food. So I will actually be doing a video review on these just because I think this will be a fun thing to feed our shrimp. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Another plant. Another big bacopa, moneywort. This is Joanna wanting to do that. I think she's actually going to add those, or most of these, to the 55-gallon setup, which will be fun. All right, now for the fish. So the first one we did get some cherry barbs. Really excited to have these. I love the colors. We got about 10 of them. That's going to be a nice addition into that 55-gallon tank. This one I can't quite show you just yet because this is for another build. So these are going to be surprise fish if you haven't figured out what they are. These are going to be a lot of fun. We got some pygmy cories. We got 10 of them. Of course, I'm going to show you what all these look like in the tank. It's not just going to be like, hey, look at this bag and look at the fish kind of sort of swimming around. But so those are going to go in the 55-gallon with the cherry barbs. This is another one I'm really excited about. I haven't had these for a while. They are the Von Rio Tetras. We got 5 of these to put in our 55-gallon with the other fish. I love Von Rio Tetras. We had it one time, we got them from a pet store, and they didn't really work out all that well in our quarantine tank, but I am hopeful that they will do better in this new setup. All right, what else do we have? This is another one that Joanna has something in store for these fish, so I'm not going to reveal them just yet. They're for another build that she's got going on. So if you want to see what those fish are, you're going to have to stick around over the next couple weeks, and it's either going to be on our channel or her channel, the small scape. This next one, what do we have here? Oh, cool. This is the other bag of Von Rio, so we actually got 2 bags of 5. So we'll have 10 in total. These will be a really great fish. One of my favorite tetras. They don't get very big. We'll get to see them. And by the way, the plan is for a lot of these fish that you're going to see here, I will be doing species profiles on them so you can get a better idea of how to care for them, how to keep them. Oh, this is fun. So I really like these fish, and I know they're not crazy, like unusual. These are the bumblebee platies. I like platies. We've got the Variatus in one of our 20 gallons. I thought this would add a nice splash of color to the tank. Just a little bit of yellow. We'll have some red and some orange. So we got some bumblebee platies. Maybe they'll breed for us in that 55 gallon if we get enough floating plants going on. Next one, let's see what we have here. Ah, very cool. The Mira rasbora, these are very small fish. And again, if you're looking for a fish that is great in a smaller tank, these are definitely it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in a 55 gallon. So we got 10 of them, and they'll fit in hopefully fairly nicely with the other fish that we've got going on in this tank so far. And again, as you can see, we're going to have a larger tank, but it's going to be filled with smaller fish. And so what will be cool is kind of the scale of the tank, I think. All right, next one. This is one I was looking forward to getting, and that is the blue tetra. And so the blue tetra, I believe we got, 6 of these. So these should be pretty interesting. It's a cool looking fish. And then here is the other bag of the blue tetras. And so we got the other 5 of them. So we should have at least 10. That was the plan. So we wanted at least 10 of the blue tetras in this tank. And so that is the fish that we've got going in. Of course, it wouldn't be Flip Aquatics unless you get your special candy treat at the bottom of the box. So again, if you are interested, if you are looking for fish, smaller fish, shrimp, Flip Aquatics is definitely a place to consider. You know, real quick, one thing I wanted to mention before we get into showing you the fish in the tank, these are all breather bags, which means that there is gas exchange happening. You don't want to float these bags because you could impede the gas exchange and actually kill the fish. So what we're going to do instead is I leave them here. The fish room luckily is around 82 degrees. Let these bags warm up in this environment for about a half hour or so, and then we can go ahead and directly add the fish to the tank. All right, everyone, so I wanted to show you this tank with all the fish added. I did give them a couple hours just to chill out. I turned the lights off. So a couple things. One of the things I talked about was how we acclimate fish. Now, these fish were in breather bags, and these are not bags that you can soak in the aquarium, as I mentioned. So what we did is I left them in the fish room to acclimate to the fish room temperature, which got them up to the water temperature. And then it was just a simple plop and drop after that. More on that in the video that we link in the description below about how we add fish to a fish tank. Now, if they were just in regular bags, I would have floated the bags for about 20-25 minutes. Same thing, right into a net, right into the tank they go. I've always had very good luck doing that. The second thing to consider is we added a decent amount of fish to this tank. Now, this was a fully cycled tank with 2 fully cycled sponge filters. There are some bristlenose plecos still in this tank, left over from when the Geophagus tapajos were in this tank. So I wasn't as concerned about adding this number of fish and this bioload to the tank given what it was already supporting. That being said, I still added some Fritzzyme 7. That is a great nitrifying bacteria. It's live nitrifying bacteria that will help with the bioload just in case we have any issues. I don't anticipate any type of ammonia or nitrite spikes in this tank because, like I said, the fish that were in here produced a lot more waste than the fish that are in here now. So we have a lot of different fish in here, right? So we went through the unboxing. I'm really impressed with these blue tetras. I've never had them before. And so they're neon-like, as you can see, but I really like the blue shimmery color to them. Excellent looking fish. The Von reels are already starting to darken up a little bit, and I suspect if we give them another week and the next time I show you an update of this tank, they're going to look even nicer with a deeper orange color. The other cool thing is you can see the pygmy cory cats swimming around the tank. This is an open water cory cat. It's not like your typical cories where they're at the bottom all the time. The pygmy cories tend to spend a lot of time mid to upper water, as you can see here. They eat mid-water. Yes, they will scavenge at the bottom of the tank from time to time, and as they get comfortable with this tank, I suspect they're going to break up their schooling behavior just a little bit, as they've done in the previous tanks. We also have the Mira rasbors. These fish are tiny, and I think they're going to be fine in this tank. The fish that are in here don't get a lot larger, so the size difference doesn't really concern me, but they're a little bit smaller than the rest right now. I think they're going to be fine. They're just awesome fish, but that's one where that's a very small fish, and if you do have a smaller tank, that is certainly an option, something to look at. The cherry barbs are looking fantastic. Haven't had cherry barbs in a long time. Definitely enjoy the color that they're bringing to this tank. We've got a lot of nice orange and red colors going on here. The blue tetras give us the blues, which is pretty nice. I like the bumblebee platies that are in here right now. Have 5 of them. They're going to probably be the largest fish in this tank as of right now. What we do have to decide is, are we going to add some type of a centerpiece fish and what that fish is going to look like? We have lots of options. Maybe that's rams, maybe that's a pistos, maybe that's just a dwarf gourami. We do have to be careful with the Mira rasbors. I don't want to get something that's going to make those fish a lunch. So that's something that we're going to have to consider. Like I said, there's still about 4 or 5 bristlenose plecos in here. They're going to stay in here. They do such a great job of keeping this tank algae free. I don't anticipate moving them out. Now, the whole point of this tank was to show that you can have a nano fish tank in a larger aquarium, right? This is a 55-gallon, 4-foot aquarium, and I absolutely loved the idea that the members came up with to put a community-type tank in here. We've got nano fish, and it's been a long time since I've dedicated this size tank to a true community setting. You can see by all the activity and all the fish in here, it's a fantastic setup. The tank itself and the filtration is going to be more than enough to handle this bioload. Like I said, I don't necessarily think we're done. We do need some type of centerpiece fish. Again, if you are interested in these fish, can't find them at your local place, definitely check out flipaquatics.com. All of these fish came from him. I'm looking forward to when Joanna adds the bacopa. Right now, the plants, the taller plants that you see in here are fake. It's a couple of the leftover fake plants that we had when the Geophagus were in here. Her plan was to pull those out once the bacopa arrived, and so I'm sure we're going to be updating this tank and showing you the updates here in the not too distant future. If you like these fish and want to learn more, be on the lookout. I plan to do, like I said, some species profiles for all of these fish in the coming weeks to kind of give you a little bit more background. Super excited to have them. Well, I hope you enjoyed the unboxing. I hope you enjoy this new community tank. We'll be giving you frequent updates. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.